So in this video, I'm going to be trying to cover everything about psychology-based editing. Now, there's a fucking lot that I know about psychology-based editing, so this might go on for a while. We're just going to get straight into it, and I'm going to begin with something very simple, which is the captions. And just to make it clear, I'm going to be talking about short form content primarily, although some of this, because it's psychology, can apply to long form as well. So the first thing is the captions in the center of the screen. Now, the reason we put the captions in the center of the screen for short form content is because when people are scrolling on social media platforms, the natural place that they're looking at is the center of the screen. And ease of consumption is one of the most important things in order to go viral. The easier the video is to watch and consume and digest for the viewer, the more likely it is to go viral. So anything we can do to optimize ease of consumption is going to increase those chances of our video blowing up. So by putting the captions in the center of the screen, we are making it easier for the viewer because they're already looking into the center of the screen. Whereas if the captions are at the bottom or if the captions are at the top, the viewer is going to have to put, although it may seem like a very minute amount of effort, the viewer is going to have to put a little bit of effort into looking at the bottom or looking at the top, because they're going to have to change the trajectory of, maybe not trajectory, that might have been the wrong word, but they're going to have to change the direction that they're looking in very slightly, but slightly, not slightly, loads, doesn't matter. It all is a part of it, right? So one of the things you'll see very commonly as well is on short form content, the captions are always on the chin and the nose. And the reason this is once again because of ease of consumption. So when we're watching a video, we don't want to have to look at, or try at least, to look at two separate parts in the same video. So for example, if the face is up here but the captions are down here, it takes you much more effort and energy to look and constantly switching back and forth and taking in both of these separate parts of the video, rather than if they were just right next to each other. So this is why we put the captions on the chin or the nose, because once again, it makes the video much easier for the viewer to consume. We're not going to go into written hooks yet, because that's going to be very fun. I think next thing we should go for is like just general clips, because the clip is the most important part about going viral. And there are many aspects and components of virality that you can see within clips that are essentially a sign of virality. So we're going to start with point A to point B, which is generally the most important. And what it means is you want to get your viewer from point A to point B as efficiently as possible. Because the efficient part is very important, because what you have to understand is these people that are scrolling on social media, they're, because they have so many options, they are not going to waste a second with a video that is a bit harder to digest, a bit harder to understand, because they can go like that and find a better one. So what we have to do is the second they see our video, we need to make the point A to point B clear and make it constantly progressive. So what I mean by this is all the way throughout your video, you need, with every single word and sentence that is said, you need something new that is being said that is getting them closer to point B. So if there's something in your video, right, so you have your video, you're trying to teach someone how to do bench press, and it's 30 seconds long. But at some point in that video, there's something there that doesn't really help the viewer. It doesn't really get them closer to learning how to bench press. You take that out. The same with silence. Silence isn't going to help. Same with repetitive words, repetitive phrases. And the most common one that you'll see is, well, you won't see it because these videos won't bang, but the most common one that people will do when they're recording videos is they will repeat the same, not repeat the same thing, but they will try to essentially say something that they've already said, but just with different wording. And I used to have that habit quite a bit, and it's definitely something that you have to train out of you, and it is very, very annoying. So that's kind of point A to point B, which you can kind of, you hooks are also a massive part of that, because your hook, like for example, if you've seen Mr. Beast, in the start of his videos, he presents the story to you. He presents the story. That's the hook, by the way. And this presents the point A to point B. And then if you watch his videos, it is constantly progressive. You're going from point A to point B extremely efficiently, which is why his videos work so well. This is also why stories are another component of virality, because they are constantly progressive. So the thing about stories is, if you can do a story on an interesting topic that loads of people are going to be interested in, and you can keep it constantly progressing, there is a very high chance that it's going to go viral, because of the same reason that the point A to point B also goes viral. So that's just a quick cover of stories. We don't need to go too deep into that one. So we've done point A and point A to point B, and we've done stories. And then another one could be an absurd statement, which I've done quite a lot recently, or I've been testing out in my recent short form content. And it's an absurd statement, so something completely insane, like mental. And then you actually back that statement up with evidence. And again, when you back it up with evidence, you want to keep that progressive concept, because the progressive concept applies to all content, regardless of the content. It's just got to be constant progress. Whatever your video is trying to achieve, you have to have constant progress to achieving that goal. If there's any parts in the video where it's not making progress to achieving the goal, then the video is gonna not do as well as it could. So what were we talking about? We were doing absurd statement and backing it up with evidence. So this works really well. For example, I've done a video saying, I've got to try and think of one now. Yes, so if you don't like weapons, you're low testosterone. So this is an absurd statement, but I can back it up with some truth. So it's kind of like, you try and find something that's really far-fetched, but you can find some like kind of links to it that do kind of prove it to have some truth to it. And then if you can explain that in a progressive way, videos are going to perform very, very well. I mean, low quality camera, not that credible myself, and I'm getting 100k view videos, and this is just the start. I haven't been doing it for that. I've been doing content for long, but I haven't been posting this time round. Since I've started content this time round, I haven't been posting for that long, and I haven't put much effort into it, and I'm already getting very good views because I'm using these components of virality. Another one is an analogy. So the reason analogies work is because it makes it very easy for the viewer to understand. But the main thing you want to do with analogies is, Andrew Huberman, no, that's not what Andrew Huberman does. That's another component, which we'll do next. But analogies is having complex concepts and then using the analogy to make it easy to understand. So, for example, something extremely rare that nobody really knows how it feels. You make an analogy, let's say it feels the same as when you play a video game. Now you use the analogy of a video game and you compare the feeling of playing a video game to the feeling of this really rare, complex thing, because so many people play video games. So as soon as people hear that, they're going to instantly understand what you're talking about, which also hits onto another component of virality, which is relatability. So people love relatability because it makes them feel special. If you can make anyone feel special, they're going to watch your video. So you want to. This is why, for example, you'll see a lot of videos blow up when that is a millionaire and he's targeting a very specific person, because say he's talking about 16-year-olds still living with their parents, just broke up with their girlfriend, and is now on the gym grind. That's a very specific audience. So when people are watching that, they're going to feel targeted, and it's going to make them feel special, which is another important part. And then what I was also about to mention was the simplification of complex concepts. Andrew Huberman does this very, very well, which is why he has gone as viral as he has. And it's pretty much in the name. It's just having very complex concepts and making them very simple and easy to understand. And if you can do that in niches such as science that are genuinely very popular, which Andrew Huberman has done, then it's going to go very well. Because if you're doing it in niches that aren't that popular, then it's not going to go as well. But if you're simplifying very complex concepts within very popular niches, yeah, you're going to get views. Because it's a very rare skill set, and you have to have a lot of knowledge within that niche to be able to do that. So now we're going to go on to, I'm just going to quickly cover colors. So colors, this is quite, let me start that again. Colors. Each singular color represents an emotion. For example, red is anger. And there are also some colors that are the most attractive to the human eye. So when the human eye sees a certain color, say you've got like red, green, purple, black, light blue, the one color out of those that a human is most likely to look at or is most attracted to is going to be light blue. Why? I don't know. But light blue, yellow, and there was one other color, but I can't quite remember what one it was because I've just been using yellow for the last 2 years. But there was one other color. Are the most attractive colors to the human eye, which means if you can get any of that color on your screen, it's going to be much more likely that the viewer is going to look in the direction of that color. So that's just a quick. You can also color match with the emotions that are in your video. So if your video starts off really angry, then you might want to use a red color in your video somewhere. And generally, the place you want to use these colors is on the captions or the hook, which the written hook will go into in a second. So you want to use those colors on the written hook. And you generally want to highlight the words with that color. So say you've got a hook and you're saying, this man just killed someone, right? That's a shit hook, but say that's what it is. You highlight the word killed with red because it's the most anger protruding word. It's the one word that is giving off the anger emotion, right? So that's the word you highlight with the red. And that kind of just emphasizes that emotion. And that's good because the more emotional the video is, the better, the more likely it is to go viral. And just really quickly, face tracking, which is where you have the camera follow where the face goes, is also for ease of consumption because it keeps the face in the center of the screen, which means same dynamic with the captions. The viewer doesn't have to look up here, down here to follow the face. So that's the simple concept for face zooming. We'll go on to written hooks now. This is going to be a long fucking thing. So we've got written hooks, we've got visual hooks, we've got audio hooks, which is just the sounds. That's going to be long as well. Written hooks. I'll tell you what, this video is going to go on for hours and then it's going to take me 10 years to upload. So if you're watching this video and you've genuinely found it useful, because I do these mainly for speaking rather than actual giving off information. I work on different objectives within my speaking on each video, and then I analyze the video afterwards and work on them in the next video. So that's what this is mainly for. But if you're watching this and you've genuinely found this helpful, and 5 people comment and they want another video, then please comment and I'll do another video on this. Again, I usually only do these weekly, but I've just started this whole new working on my speaking through content. So right now I'm quite motivated to do it. That's why I'm doing another one right now. But usually they'd only be weekly. But yeah, let me know if you've watched this all the way to the end and you want to see another one. And I'll be sure to do that.